Hello everyone, and welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. Cumberland Outdoorsman here with you again. And in today's video, I think I've got something interesting for you. And it's a question that's often asked of me as a veteran turkey hunter. Now, I've been turkey hunting for about 30 years, and I've harvested my share of wild turkeys. But this is a question that I've often wondered myself. And the question is, how late in the day can you actually expect to go out and strike up a turkey, by hearing him gobble, and to be able to work that bird and call him in? Well, in this video, I think I'm going to answer that question for you. Traditionally, the way it's done is you go out the evening before the hunt and you try to find a bird that's roosted, either by hearing them fly up to roost or being able to blow an owl call or something like that to make that bird gobble. That way you know where that bird's roosted, and you can go in the next morning and set up nearby and call that turkey in to be able to harvest him. Traditionally, that's the way it works, and that's the way I love to do it, to get up before the sun comes out and hear that turkey up there on that roost. Man, it's one of the great thrills of hunting. And when you're out in the woods in the springtime, you see so much of life renewing itself. You see wildflowers coming into bloom and beautiful insects like the spring butterflies that come out and morel mushrooms and all the vegetation that's springing back to life. And yes, to be able to hear that wild turkey gobbler in the forest, in a woodland setting. Man, I'll tell you, that's just a great place to be anytime you can get out and go turkey hunting. And I can think of a whole lot worse places to be than that, let me tell you. So my answer to that question quite often revolves around, if the weather is permitting, if you got good weather, turkey season's open, and you have the time, any time is a good time to be in the woods to go turkey hunting. But the best time, I would say, would be in the morning, but you will also be able to strike up a bird later in the day, occasionally, not always, but usually later in the season, once the hens start nesting and spending more time on the nests, and gobblers find themselves more isolated from hens, then the tactic is more effective to be able to call that gobbler in to your setup and to be able to cleanly harvest that turkey. So let me get into this video and share that with you. Now, the first part of it is a morning hunt where I set up to try to call in a bird because I've noticed gobblers frequenting this certain area, and I actually call in a hen within just a few feet. But then, I hear a bird further off, and I just don't have time to be able to go after that bird. But I did have time later on in the day, that afternoon, because I had to go to work. And then once I got off work, I went back in the woods there and I got after that bird. So sit back and relax, and I hope you enjoy the video, and hopefully you can gain a little bit of confidence and some knowledge for yourself. So enjoy the video. Well, I got set up here on this ridge, and I'm just below the edge of this ridge here. That turkey flew down this way, so I'm not sure how close I am to him. I'm gonna start calling here in a minute. See if I can get a response. That sun is just starting to come up now. Things are still a little bit damp and still rather cool, so we'll see what they do. Well, I just stood up and there's a turkey hen right there, just on on the other side of this rise. Here, gobbler with them. Keep calling, see what happens here. Well, folks, here it is, Friday after work, back out here on this farm where I've been doing some turkey hunting this spring, and got set up here at the edge of this field, and I haven't seen or heard any turkeys this evening. It is now 6:04. The farmer that lets me hunt has peacocks. Sometimes these gobblers will respond to a peacock call. So if anybody out there is hunting on a farm where they have peafowl like that, remember that. It may come useful for you, may become useful. I remember being on this ridge and hearing those peacocks sound off and gobblers responding. Sometimes, they just gobble at just about anything. Do a little bit of calling and just sit back and enjoy this afternoon here in the woods. Nice and quiet. I can think of worse places to be than in the woods on a spring afternoon. Well, I got set up here next to this field on top of this ridge. Started calling. This is late in the evening now. This is after 6 o'clock. And I just heard a gobbler 5 or 6 times right down here. There he goes again. He didn't start gobbling until I started calling. See what he does with a slate call. About 300 yards that way. There it goes again. Well, he answered that. Answering it every time. Man, he's sounding off good. Get down and get on that ridge with him. He's still gobbling. Up there in that field strutting. Gobbler was right there in that field. I could see him 80 yards up there. He's moved off that way, I think. Every time I call, it sounds like he's further away. Let's see what he does here. He's right over there. He's coming, folks. Turkey's gonna come. I see the top of his fan. Well, folks, here it is late in the day. So it's never too late to go turkey hunting, you know. Struck this bird up on one ridge and crossed over to the other ridge and was up here in these woods, and I saw him strutting. So anyway, I started calling on that other ridge, and I switched over to a slate call, and he started gobbling. But it, you know, he was on the other side. It was a good ways off. Now that all the foliage is on the trees, these turkeys are a little bit harder to hear than they are during the early part of turkey season. So, you know, you got to be careful when you get close to them, because a lot of times you think they're further away than they are, and they're not. But anyway, this will make my second harvest here in Tennessee. This is a really big bird here. I mean, this is a good sized bird. He's a 2-year-old, but man, body-wise, he's a huge turkey. That's probably the latest in the day, and probably latest in the season I've ever killed a turkey. But we've got 2 days left, and I decided to come out here after work. I hunted this morning and heard that turkey gobble down there. I don't know if it's this one or another one. There's several others, because there was 2 more turkeys out in the field with this one, and 2 of them were strutting. This one here was strutting the most and doing most of the gobbling, and then the other one was strutting too. But I called him in, coaxed him in a little bit closer with that slate call, just give him, you know, some soft calls, and then crept up to the edge of the woods right behind a tree, and he was out there about 50 yards, close enough for a good shot, and I was successful. You know, I'm thankful to be successful, to have made a good shot and put the bird down quick, and I think the camera captured that. Well, folks, here it is the next morning after that successful turkey hunt yesterday evening. When I brought the bird home, I put him in a chest freezer so that I could make sure that he stays fresh, so that I could make this follow-up video the next morning for you, and to get a better look at him here, because it got kind of late yesterday evening. And there he is. It was still legal shooting light, but it was probably the latest turkey that I've ever harvested. So that answers the question. How late in the day can you go turkey hunting? Well, like I said in the intro, just about any time you can go during the season is a great time to go turkey hunting. You know, if you can strike a bird up and make that bird gobble like this one did, he gobbled pretty hot actually, and get him to respond, and then move in on him, or move around him however you need to, and call that bird into range, and then take a good clean shot like I did. That's a successful turkey hunt in every description of the word. What I did is I was sitting on a distant ridge, and I was blowing a mouth call. I was using a mouth call, and I thought I got a response, or maybe I heard a distant gobble. I wasn't really sure. So I put the mouth call away, and then I started with this slate call, you know, a traditional old slate call that I've got. And I just started just like that. And I heard a gobble. And then I waited a little bit, as you saw in the video, called again, and I got another response. And then every time I called to that bird, he gobbled back at a slate call. So my advice to you is to take a multitude of calls with you when you go turkey hunting. You know, take your box call, take slate call, glass call, learn to use a mouth call. There's so many other calls out there. And practice with them and get good at it, you know, where you sound convincing enough to a turkey to be able to call them in, and enjoy hunting, enjoy turkey hunting.